CRM. My name is Andy Cluck, and I'm going to be your host today. I'm on the marketing team here at Ledgeview Partners, and I'm really excited to be part of the session today. But before I introduce today's presenter, I just have a couple of housekeeping items to cover quickly. First, today's webinar is being recorded, and it will be available on demand after a live session. All registered attendees, which means everyone listening, and those who were unable to attend the live presentation will receive an email this afternoon with an access link. Even though we're just scheduled for 30 minutes today, we'd love to hear from you during today's presentation, but to ensure the best audio quality for all our attendees, we have everyone on listen-only mode. If you have a question, please submit it, though, through the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel, and we will address as many questions at the end as we can. If time does not permit, since we're only at 30 minutes, we'll be sure to follow up offline with you afterwards, and that's our promise to you. Okay, I'm sure I've already eaten more time than Audra would like me to, but I'm pleased to introduce Audra Carlisle today. Audra has been helping businesses for a number of years harness the power of CRM to achieve incredible results. So over the next 20 to 25 minutes, she is going to not take you from A to Z on dynamic CRM because that would take hours, but she will start with the ABCs. All right, Audra, I'm done talking. Thank you for joining us today. It's all yours.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Andy. So thank you to those for joining today. Greatly appreciate your time. So again, as Andy mentioned, Audra Carlisle. I'm on the sales team here at Ledgeview Partners. Again, we recommend just taking full advantage of that Q&A panel if you have questions today. If we can't get to them, like he said, we'll follow up with you individually afterwards. But before jumping into the live demonstration, I thought it'd be beneficial to cover just a few basics. So companies used to thrive with a one-size-fits-all approach to their customers. Think the TV show Mad Men. I think we can all kind of visually imagine what sales and marketing was like then. So in the early days of advertising, messages, did get to their audiences, but there was little data to show whether those messages were resonating. And at the time, brands were very powerful. Their messages were delivered in a very broad kind of inside-out context. And that's where, of course, technology and the Internet of Things has really changed things by giving individuals a powerful voice and also determining kind of their customer journey. So listen to some of these interesting statistics. 72% of all Internet users are now active on social media. 73% of all leads that are being generated are going untouched within a certain time frame. And it's proven that experiences is what's driving loyalty, and I think we're all probably subject to that. And there's research that shows over 2/3 of people have changed a brand because of their experience. And the final statistic that I find very interesting is that the analyst firm Gartner says that by 2020, they're estimating there will be over 26 billion connected devices. So that equates to about, I think, 58 connected products per person. Again, this is driving the way customers are using our products and our services, and ultimately they're determining their experiences. So companies have responded by focusing on customer experiences and really understanding that customer's journey. And understanding it, of course, is critical to success. And that's where CRM comes into play. It's a way to integrate your technology, your business practices and processes, and combine them with the customer data to create a robust exchange of information to develop meaningful, beneficial customer relationships. So again, the better you understand your customers, the more responsive you can be to their needs, and ultimately keep the customers that you have happy and grow your business. So at Ledgeview Partners, again, we support both Dynamic CRM as well as Salesforce. For the purpose of today's demonstration, I am going to be focusing on Dynamic CRM. At a high level, Dynamic CRM enables businesses by providing the most productive and the most flexible CRM solution to improve the productivity of your people. So again, the areas that we'll be focusing on through the kind of the A to C today will be sales, marketing, and customer care. Again, when you purchase Dynamic CRM, these are the 3 core areas or workloads that you have access to. They're not separate clouds of data. When you purchase, you have access to all this functionality right away. And in addition, Microsoft's strategy is to provide the best user experience across a broad set of browsers and devices. So spanning PCs, again, being able to maybe access CRM through Outlook, the web, whether it's Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, and then, of course, by most popular demand these days are mobile devices. And we really call this CRM anywhere. Realizing the importance of empowering your people with the data no matter where they are or at any time. So now that we have some of the basics covered, let's jump into the building blocks of the ABCs of CRM, again, around acquiring leads, building relationships, and closing deals. So again, in today's demonstration, we're going to walk through the day in the life of a marketing person, a sales rep, and customer service agent. The goal is to help you get a better understanding of how CRM can help you zero in, win deals faster, and again, manage that customer's journey as they work with your organization. I will be using CRM 2016 today, so if you're on a previous version, you might notice a slight difference. So before jumping into the marketing role, I'd like to just review some general navigation so each user can individualize or personalize their experience. So you can upload a profile picture and you can do things like default what you want your homepage to be. So again, as a marketing person, when I log in, I want to see relevant information specific to my role. Once I'm there, I have my homepage set. Again, you can navigate to the different areas of the system. And if I select marketing, and again, it will give me the subset of options to navigate to that area of the system. I can also see any recently viewed items. Again, this is just a way to create some efficiencies for your employees. So as an account rep, maybe I have 12 different accounts that I manage. I can add those to my recently viewed, pin them here. So all I have to do is go to my recently viewed items and go to that account information. I can also quickly create new information utilizing what's called the quick create. So from here, I can quickly create something like a new lead. And then there's also global search capabilities. So if I type in a couple of letters, it will automatically bring to me all of the entities within the CRM database that meet that criteria. And then the final piece, just from a navigation standpoint, is something called the advanced find. So this is a more in-depth search tool to pull data and search and query on any of the fields or data that you have set up in your CRM system. So with this general navigation complete, let's go ahead and put on our marketing hat. And in this scenario, we're going to cover the ability to cover things like managing campaigns, the activities associated with those, generating leads, qualifying leads, and assigning leads for follow-up. As a marketing manager, I'd like to start my day out in the dashboard feature of Dynamic CRM. This is how I can quickly see all of the important, relevant information that I need to start my day. So from here, again, I can quickly at a high level see all the different campaigns that we have running, what types of campaigns they are. So it looks like we have a pretty good mix going. I can see my budgets versus actual costs and where I'm at for each quarter. And most importantly, too, for all those campaigns that I have running, are they driving leads for our sales team to follow up on? And then most importantly, what ROI are those campaigns generating? So as those deals are closing, being able to tie back those metrics from a marketing standpoint. So not only can you have charts of information, again, you can have lists. So I can see what are maybe my activities, phone calls, tasks for the day that I need to get started. Again, now that we have a good pulse on what's going on in the marketing area, I want to take a closer look at the leads that we have. Again, leads is just a way to segment the data, and leads are cold prospects, someone that hasn't done business with you before, needs to be nurtured and qualified, whether it's through different events or maybe some email marketing automation tools that you're using as well. So again, ultimately where we end up is a view. It's just a listing of your leads. And again, you can have various views open. So you can have open leads. Maybe you want it based on a certain territory. You can, again, personalize those views for your experience. Whether it's leads or accounts, the data can get into the system in a few different ways. So we saw earlier how we could utilize the quick create. If I wanted to create just a new lead manually from what's right in here, I can do that. Otherwise, I can also use the import tool. So maybe you've purchased a list of leads or you've been to a trade show. You can take that file, Excel or CSV file, and quickly import that data in, again, so your marketing team can start nurturing that potential lead. So here we can see we have a list of about 10 leads. It's also beneficial for me. I'm a very, very visual person. So I can use the inline charts here to segment or look at that data in a different view. So maybe I want to see what are the leads that are sitting in this warm category. And just by selecting that part of the chart, it automatically filters that information down for me. So now that I have kind of a good idea of the number of leads we have in the system, I'm actually, from here, I want to go ahead and build out a marketing list so I can do some targeted marketing. So again, we can see we have various active marketing lists. I'm going to actually go ahead and look at one that I created earlier today, again, focusing on that rating of the warm leads. So I can give this marketing list a name. I can set the list type. Again, this can be static or dynamic. A static is essentially a one-time list pull. So you're going to go grab the data, that's it. Where the dynamic list is kind of a living, breathing marketing list. As new leads enter the system, or maybe their ratings change from cold to warm, they will dynamically or automatically get added to this marketing list for you. And then again, we can see just our last required field that we need to be sure to fill out is who are we targeting? Is this going to be a lead or a contact? So again, we're targeting the leads. And then once we have our marketing list set up, again, we want to add the specific individuals to this list. So we can just go up here into Manage Members. And this is very similar to that advanced find feature. Again, being able to search and query on any of the fields you have set up in CRM. So again, we have our rating set to warm, our status. Again, I want to make sure that I'm pulling all open leads that haven't been disqualified or qualified. And furthermore, too, if I wanted to look at all warm leads in maybe the state of Texas, again, I can search and filter any of that information into this marketing list. And once I have that set up, again, I can just go ahead and use this query, and all those members are automatically added to this list for me. Again, since it's set up as dynamic, I will continue to see names be added to this list for me. So now that I have my list set up, there's a couple of campaign features I can utilize. One is called the Quick Campaign feature. A quick campaign is a communication method that creates a single activity for distribution to a group of contacts or leads. So for example, maybe I'm hosting an event and I want to create a quick campaign that has a call down. So I can utilize the quick campaign to create that call down. I can add my script, and then I can distribute or assign those activities to the appropriate person. Otherwise, I can use what's called a campaign, and a campaign supports an end-to-end marketing program. So again, a campaign will likely span months. There are several planning activities associated with it. So for this particular one, I've decided to host an event for some of our prospects and leads or customers. So from here, I've segmented my list of data. So I'm going to go into campaigns. And for this one, we have a new product that we're launching. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this product launch campaign. And again, we can see here that we have an estimated revenue that we're expecting this to drive. We can set the status details so we can see that this is already launched. When you create the campaign, it will generate a campaign code for you just for reporting purposes if you need to tie anything back to it. You can add in information like what's your expected response rate. And then again, from a scheduling standpoint, being able to track those proposed and actual start and end dates. And as that campaign's progressing, there's probably internal activities that are taking place, making sure, setting up an internal meeting just for the marketing team, maybe meeting with the product team. So those can be tracked at the activity levels. And then again, what are those targeted marketing lists that we're looking at for this particular product launch? So we can see here we have some current customers. We have some social media influencers. I also want to just go ahead and add that list of warm leads that we created. So just by hitting that plus sign, typing in warm, and I can go ahead and add that list to this particular campaign. And if there are certain activities that have taken place, I can be sure to distribute that to that list as well. We can already see with this particular campaign that we're generating some new leads or interest, so that's great. And then the final piece too is being able to track, from a budgeting standpoint, what was the allocated budget, and for those planning activities, what's the total cost associated with that. So for the total cost, that's being driven again by those campaign activities that are going into making this event successful. So from here, I can just open up one of those particular activities. So this one is around creating launch materials. So again, I've already tied it back to the campaign. I can have a pick list of options as, is this content preparation? Is it building out websites? What type of activity is this? Again, making sure that we're staying on time. And then again, if you're working with outsourced vendors, you can allocate the budget to that and what is the actual cost. So again, as these are getting completed, that's driving those financial numbers for the campaign. And then throughout the duration of the campaign, there's several out-of-the-box reports that come with Dynamic CRM. But regardless of where you're at in the campaign, you can always run what's called the campaign performance report. So again, this will summarize all of that information. So if you're an executive level committee, you can just pull the campaign performance report and present that. So now that we've reviewed the campaign activities that have made this event a success, let's take a look at how we can use Dynamic CRM to make the most of the leads that we have generated and get our sales team involved. So again, if we go down here below, we have the list of leads that we've generated. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Allison Brown record. So again, what you'll see here is just the lead entity inside of Dynamic CRM. The thing to keep in mind throughout what you're seeing today from leads, accounts, and contacts, CRM is a highly configurable, easy to customize solution. So if there's certain fields of information that you're not seeing here, by all means, this is just out of the box, and we can always work with you and your team to make sure that it's set up to track the information relevant to your business. So again, at the lead level, we can track where this lead is coming from. Again, from a marketing, we like to track what's the rating. So I'm going to actually bump this up to warm based on Allison's interest in attending the event. And I can also see who on the marketing team is assigned to this. You'll also notice there's a business process flow inside of Dynamic CRM. Again, this is a way to create a consistent customer experience as they're working with your team from sales to marketing to service. Again, this is a way to create a consistent experience for them. So as we qualify this and we move through those different stages, it'll progress us through that. And then from the lead, again, just being able to track that basic contact information, who Allison works for. And again, throughout those interactions, we'll be tracking any of those activities. We can create new phone calls. We can create new tasks. We can also keep track of any notes that might be related to this lead as well. So we can see here, it looks like there's already been a couple of it have been completed. It looks like there's a phone call invite to the event and maybe a follow-up thanking her for attending. There's also other types of subgrids of information if you need to keep track of stakeholders. You can have insights into this particular account. And again, insights it's a very powerful tool. I wish we had more time to go into it today. But with the insights, you can get real-time news alerts or feedback. Maybe there's been an executive level change that your marketing or sales rep needs to be notified on. Are people posting things out on social media? Again, just being able to get those real-time insights, again, at your fingertips. And then last but not least, just being able to, again, tie back anything back to the source campaign. So when Allison does eventually purchase products from us, all of that revenue is being tied back to the campaign. And then you can also do things like setting up contact methods or preferences. So if they don't want to receive phone calls, you can set that to do not allow. So again, from our marketing team's perspective, it's their responsibility to, again, follow up with leads, and then ultimately where we end up is qualify or disqualify. So based on my last conversation with Allison and their urgency for purchasing, I'm going to go ahead and qualify this lead so our sales team can start developing the opportunity. So once I hit qualify, again, it's going to look for any duplicates within the system, and then it will automatically take me from the lead to the opportunity. And then from there, I can assign it to the appropriate sales rep for follow-up, or I can also have a workflow set up behind the scenes that will automatically assign that lead for me. So just like that, we've completed a full marketing lifecycle for generating leads, distributing them to the appropriate person for timely follow-up. Now we're going to go ahead and take off the marketing hat and put on the sales hat. So again, we're going to walk through a day in the life of a sales rep. And again, from a sales perspective, they'll likely want to see some high-level dashboard information. So we're going to look at the sales performance. And from this, the sales standpoint, again, we're going to be covering the ability to continue to build those relationships, work with the customer on their journey, track any opportunities, and then ultimately close those deals. So again, from a sales perspective, I like to see, what does my sales pipeline or funnel look like? You can also utilize the goals inside of CRM. And again, goals can be tied to maybe number of phone calls completed or activities or tasks. You can also tie them to any estimated revenue. So what are your goals for this quarter? So sales can see in terms of where are they at in terms of their overall goal and maybe where they should be at in terms of their progress. And then last but not least, too, is being able to see maybe in terms of the sales team, some leaderboard information. Where is everyone in terms of closing deals? Being able to see, by a sales rep who's winning the deals versus, which ones are won versus lost. But the other really great thing about dynamic CRM is just being able to interact with this data in real time. Again, marketing, sales, or service. We'll use the marketing for or sales for the example today. So I want to take a closer look at this particular part of the funnel. So from right within here, I want to take a look at what is the estimated revenue for each of these opportunities, and I want to see it in this particular chart format. So again, I can see all the different associated revenues for that particular part of the funnel. And since it is towards the end of the quarter, I want to look at, what is this particular opportunity? Maybe what is the account? So it looks like it's Margie's Travel. As a sales manager, I need to know what rep is working on that so we can ensure that this closes this quarter to help the sales team meet their goals. So again, I can just go ahead and look at the owner. And just with a click of 3 buttons, I haven't left the dashboard views. I can see that I need to reach out to Molly to help her close this business this quarter. And so again, since I've been able to take a closer look at that, I can just go back to the home, and then it takes me right back to the funnel. So very powerful kind of search capabilities right from within the dashboard area. So from here, I want to go into the accounts area. And again, this is just going to be a listing of that, all of your active accounts or customers, prospects. The one thing I want to point out here too is you can look at the data using the hierarchies. So this can be parent-child relationships. Maybe you have certain vendors or dealers associated as well. But again, this is visually just allows you to be able to see that data in a different way. So I know we had that opportunity earlier for Margie's Travel. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that account. So the goal when you open up an account record, it should really give you a 360-degree view of everything that's going on within that organization. So you can see maybe cases. You can also bring in information from your ERP system. So what's that customer sales year to date versus where they were last year to make sure that we're kind of staying in close line with that and we're not losing any business. So again, we can see basic account information here. We know who the owner of this particular account is. Here in the central area too, we can see any activities associated. Again, this will show me anything from the customer service team as well as anything maybe that marketing has worked on over time as well. So this all rolls up to the account view. If I needed to go in and, again, add a new phone call, I can create that here. Maybe I left a voicemail, type in any notes. I can select left voicemail and then select OK. So again, it'll keep kind of a rolling history of anything that's happened within this particular organization. And we can see who the primary contact is, and likely with most companies, you'll have several contacts that you're interacting with. And again, the other nice thing is those insights come right across with the account as well. So if there's, again, important information or insights you need to have access to, again, that's right within the account view. So I know there's that opportunity that I need to focus on, but before I look into that, I want to see if there's any open cases. So again, since Dynamics gives you that capability from marketing, customer service to sales, it looks like we only have one active case. So I'm pretty confident that our sales team is making sure that's getting taken care of. So again, I'm going to go back into this opportunity. So as Molly here, it's my responsibility to close this particular opportunity. Give that a second to open. And again, at this point, we can use that business process flow to ensure that the customer's journey is consistent throughout the entire process. One second to refresh here. Give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Back on track here. So let's go back into the Margie's account, and we're going to go right back into that opportunity. All right, there we go. So again, this client also attended the product launch. So like I was mentioning, you can utilize the business process flow to ensure that it's a consistent customer journey from marketing at the qualified stage all the way through develop and propose. So again, at the opportunity level, it's the salesperson's responsibility to ensure that the estimated close date from a forecasting standpoint is up to date. And from an estimated revenue standpoint, there's a couple of different areas or ways that we can calculate this. One is to use what's called a user provided, which is just the salesperson's kind of best guess and going in and manually updating that. Or you can tie this to what are called products inside of CRM. And you can either manage those inside of Dynamics CRM, or some of our customers have also tied those to their back office systems. So again, from an opportunity standpoint, I know I'm kind of in the closing stages, but I just want to go ahead and make sure that I have everything captured for this particular customer. So we've identified our sales team, we've developed our proposal, we've completed an internal review as a team, and we've also presented that proposal already. So based on that, again, my my probability for closing this, I'm going to set at 80%. We have all of our forecast information. It's also been forecasted into that sales funnel that we saw within the dashboard earlier. And again, I can see any activities that are associated with this opportunity. And then what the other things that we can track are, competitor type information. So who is that competition? What are their strengths or weaknesses? So I know how to position our company in order to win the business. And then again, like I said, being able to tie products and price list to calculate that revenue. So we can see here we have a retail price list that we're using. We already have a couple of products. If I want to go in and update maybe the quantities, so let's say they want to have 752, you'll notice that what it will do is it will automatically update the extended amount here, and it's also automatically updated the estimated revenue for me as well. Another nice feature inside of the latest release with Dynamics is called suggestion. So this will automatically suggest to your sales reps maybe some areas where they could cross-sell. Maybe there are some accessories that you can add to this product. Maybe there's areas to upsell, or maybe based on certain product selections, we should substitute it for something else. And then from here, you can also roll into creating quotes that you can create and send to the customer as well. So there's a lot that you can do right within the opportunity view as well. So again, I know we've got to close this business by the end of the quarter. So we can go ahead and maybe I want to offer a 15% discount. So I've added that in, but you'll also notice that within this business process flow, it's telling me that I need to go to my manager for approval. So based on that, I've now gotten approval from my manager. So at this point, I can either close the opportunity as won or lost, but based on all of our interactions, they're very pleased with their experience and they want to go ahead and purchase the product. So I'm going to go ahead and close as won. And again, it's pulling in automatically the actual revenue for me and then updating the estimated close date as well. Again, now we've taken a qualified lead, we've closed the opportunity, and now it's about making sure that our customers are satisfied with our products or services. So let's navigate back to the customer service and go into the dashboard areas. And again, from here we can take a look at the different case statistics, look at track the follow-up with customers, manage the caseloads and queues as well. I do apologize for some of the glitches. What we can do afterwards too is make sure we'll re-record everything. So if you want to watch anything back or share with other team members, that there's little to no glitches. So I do apologize for the issues we're experiencing today. All right, and I know we are running a little bit out of time, so we'll maybe just re-record the customer service, and to make sure to get that short snippet recording, it'll probably be 5 minutes out to you after today's webinar. But the last thing that I did want to touch on today, so regardless of my role, whether it's sales, marketing, or service, I start and end my day inside of Outlook. So there's what's called a plugin tool that you can install inside of your Outlook, but what it does is it gives you access to all of the CRM functionality. So again, we can see up here in the ribbon, I can create new activities for myself. I can create any of those new records. But what's also nice, again, just from a standard Outlook navigation, if I want to take a look at all of the contacts that we have in our CRM database, again, I can just navigate right within my Outlook folder structure to my CRM data, to my contacts. And again, it just shows me a listing of that information. I can have a preview pane of maybe their email or contact information as well. And then the final components would be the email integration. So if you get an email and it's something that you want to keep track of or track that particular customer inside of CRM, again, here's my set of CRM options. I can track that particular email. I can set it regarding maybe a specific case or opportunity, or I can also convert any incoming email to an opportunity, case, or lead. Again, there's a lot of things you can do just from an email integration standpoint. So that does conclude our ABCs of CRM today. Again, I do apologize for some of the technical glitches, but we'll make sure to re-record and get you kind of the end-to-end. In closing, again, we've just really scratched the surface on a lot of the capabilities that you can do with Dynamic CRM. If you have additional questions or you would like a deep dive into any of the areas we've covered today, please reach out to Andy and myself. We'll make sure to get you to the appropriate sales rep on our team. Microsoft does offer a free 30-day trial if it's something you're interested in. And then, again, if we weren't able to get to all the questions today, we'll be sure to follow up with you individually. And then last but not least, I highly suggest going out and checking out our website. We've got a great blog out there that our marketing team is constantly putting information in. Follow us on social media. For our YouTube channel, LVP CRM, not only will we have today's recording, but there's a wealth of great videos around user adoption, videos going into like the dashboarding and reporting features of Dynamic CRM. So highly suggest going out there. And hopefully we'll see you at our next event, which is this Thursday, December 10th at 11:30 Central, around marketing automation versus CRM and what's the difference. So we hope you can join us there. Thank you again for your time and have a wonderful day.